preparation, Active Directory synchronization, licensing, and OWA access. By the time you're done here, you will be able to verify and force federated synchronization, license your users, and test OWA access. Now, in the previous module, we set up a federation from our on-site Active Directory into Office 365, and we saw the users sync. But before we start migrating accounts over, I want to make sure that it's still syncing, and I want to make sure these accounts work. So I'm taking you over to our on-premise Active Directory. And if you went through the entire previous module, you saw that we actually migrated these users from a massive legacy domain into this brand new domain, co1001.80.thevia.com. We dumped all of our users in the migrate OU, and that's kind of where they stayed, just because I've been so focused on Office 365, I haven't moved them into the right OUs yet. That'll come. But the truth is, the federation is synchronizing the entire domain, so it doesn't matter what OUs they're in. So questions that I had when I first federated this thing was, is this a one-time thing or will it stay in sync throughout? How often does it synchronize? What happens if I add an account or remove an account? And that's what I want to answer right now. Let's add a dummy account into the migrate OU. We'll call him Thomas Anderson. Mr. Anderson. Change his UPN suffix to thevia.com and give him a password. For now, I won't make him change it next logon. And our user account is created. Now I'm heading back to my Office 365 world. Click on contacts. Might as well just hit the refresh button. And as of yet, Thomas Anderson doesn't exist. So there's a few PowerShell commands that you can use to see what's going on. Now in the early days when Microsoft called AD Connect Directory Sync, they actually gave you a whole bunch of little pre-made PowerShell scripts. Now they've turned it all into a module. I'm going to type in import module AD Sync. Now a whole new set of commands are available to me. I'll type in get AD sync scheduler, and I'll see right there that it synchronizes once every 30 minutes by default. I can see the next time it's going to synchronize, it's going to be at 8:27 p.m. Now, looking at the time, obviously we're a little bit off, but if you look, this is in UTC, Greenwich Mean Time, the center of the world. Now you'll notice right up top, it says there's an allowed sync interval and a currently effective sync interval. Microsoft is smart. They don't want you to just hammer away and say sync once a second and blow up their servers. So what they're telling you is this is the minimum automatic sync cycle that they'll allow. Now that doesn't restrict you from doing a manual sync. You can do that at any time. Type in start AD sync cycle dash policy type, and then you get to choose either initial or delta. Initial will resync everything, whereas delta will sync only the changes. That's what I'm going to do right here. Hit the enter key, comes back, says success. Now if I jump over to my Office 365 environment, I can also see how things are working by going to this more directory synchronization. Click the link to go to dir sync management, and you'll be able to see when it was last synced, along with some other scattered data about directory sync. I'll head back to my active users and scroll down a little bit. Thomas Anderson still does not exist. I found even when you do a manual sync and it goes through, it still takes a couple minutes for Office 365 to process the change and display it. Oh, I just refreshed one more time, and sure enough, there is Thomas Anderson. Now, as of right now, he will be imported as an unlicensed user. He doesn't just automatically get granted an Office 365 license until you go in, select him, and add a product license. I've got one license left of my Office 365 Business Premium. Save it. Pick my location. Now save it. And he's all set. Now I'm going to go back to portal.office.com and log on as that new user. Slam in the password. And I'm presented with the initial Office 365 login wizard. Walks the user through what Office 365 is all about, in 4 sentences or less, and takes them to their console. Now I can click on Mail, set the time zone, and I'm presented with my Outlook Web Access or OWA interface. Now, I'm not going to get any mail showing up here, at least beyond the default Office welcome mail that comes in, until I've adjusted my DNS records and connected my 2 domains in the hybrid environment together. At this point, I just wanted to make sure the federation was working. I want to make sure we were all on the same page with how synchronization works between them, how to license users, and make sure OWA is in the house. I hope this has been informative for you, and I'd like to thank you for viewing.